guys that are maybe on that kind of cusp of being ready for it. We got Borchgrevink.
He's fine. He'll be fine.
And Beningame.
Yeah, so Borchgrevink will be fine. He trained fully. He did most of the session yesterday. Trained fully today, so he came through that okay. Neuenhoff, we're hopeful. We're confident that he'll be okay. The one who's probably might miss the game, but not ruled out yet, is Benny. But he's the one that we all thought had a wee bit more to do to be ready. But I know how desperate all the lads are to be part of it, and we'll try and give them every opportunity to be part of the squad.
You got a lot of goals in your friendlies and in the League Cup ties. How confident are you that will translate on Monday, which was going to have a very different feel, intensity, and everything?
I think if you look back to the league before the League Cup games, and even pre-season, we scored good number of goals. You want to go into the season as best prepared as you can. No manager's ever totally settled with a squad at this stage because there's still plenty of the window left. But in terms of getting goals and numerous clean sheets, it's the players should feel good about it. They should feel fit. They're fit. I think they're ready, and scoring plenty of goals and keeping plenty of clean sheets. It's no bad thing. So I think we have to try and take the confidence from that. But like I said, people will say, "Oh, he never played them in the League Cup," which is not true. Oh, Sunderland will be a different test. You beat Sunderland, but it doesn't really matter. They're treating it as a friendly, So there's always people, you're always getting judged really, and I think the players should get into the game on Monday. They should be in a good frame of mind. They should be a confident Hearts player going onto the pitch, a motivated Hearts player going onto the pitch, and we're ready to do our work, but we're going to have to work to get a result.
It must be frustrating waiting for this paperwork to come through for Landry Kabore. Still hopeful of having him available, and could Magnuson be part of the squad by then as well? Yeah,
so on Kabore, just to stress, the club has done everything that we can to this juncture. We have done now for a while, and we're just waiting for the process. It would indicate us we'd find out last week. That hasn't been the case. So it's a source of frustration for us. I feel for the boy. He's been over in the country now a while and itching to get going. It's frustrating for him, and obviously try to keep him positive because you get the benefit of having that signing, and the feel good factor that he'll get from that. But unfortunately for us and him, he's kicking his heels at the minute. But got to respect the situation that we're in. But equally, it has been tough on him and us. We'd like to have got him playing a game yesterday. We're still hopeful he can be part of the squad, but at this moment we have to say he's not because we don't have the necessary paperwork. Obviously Magnuson's a player that we're trying to bring to the club. We're quite far down the line with the process of that, but we're not there yet. And if we do tick all the boxes between now and Monday, then we have a chance maybe to get him for Monday night. Yeah.
You talk about your short-term ambitions to get a win as soon as you can in the league. In terms of longer term, have you kind of set targets that you can talk to us about how you see the season unfolding?
Yeah, I think obviously we've got to improve clearly on what we served up last season. As a club, we never really got to what we wanted. There was obviously the extra demand of European football, but domestically, not to get to a cup final and not even get top six. We've got a lot to do to make up from last season. But ultimately, I think going into any campaign, if we do our work right at Hearts, utilise the budget that's afforded to us, you get a bit of fortune as every team needs. We'd like to think that we can be searching and striving for European football and amongst those places, and try to get to Hampden. And be 90 minutes away from lifting silverware. That's got to be the aim. I don't think any Hearts player, any Hearts manager, staff should shy away from that demand. It's clearly there. We accept it, and we've got to go and set about the task of doing that. We're not here to mess about. We're here to try and do something while we're here. And I do feel that a Hearts player should, when they sign here, should have those objectives. I think it's clearly what the Hearts fans expect. And as I said, when I get announced as a manager, that all we've got to try and do first and foremost is meet the expectations of the Hearts fans, and I would say that their expectations is what we expect for ourselves. beyond that, going forward, hopefully we can exceed those expectations. But for now, we're not going to shout our mouths off, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. When the back of last season, we never reached a final and we were in the bottom 6. So there's work to be done. We're encouraged by what the players have gave us since we've come in. So it's not just about new signings and this new wave of new players. Any new player coming in has got a part to play, but equally the players who were here last season, the players who have been here for a while, have got a huge part to play as well. And it's those players that we feel as well, we're really pleased with, that we're getting good performances out as well. So it's a collective effort to try and meet that demand.
Do you think that the players that were here, and I'm conscious that you weren't here either, but the players who were, that did kind of underachieve, if you like, or not achieve to the level that they would have wanted to, is that kind of, do you sense that's kind of spurring them on for this season? They want to kind of put that right?
I don't know for certain, but I would say that nobody, when you work for a club like Hearts, nobody's going to be happy with a lot if they're not getting to cup finals and being in the bottom 6. With that comes a lot of difficulties, a lot of criticism right across the board, and we're well aware that that will come at us again if we can't be the team we want for ourselves. You know, we're riding a wee wave of optimism at the minute. There's a lot of encouragement, there's a lot of feel-good factor, a lot of kind of hope for something better this season. But we know how quickly all that can get derailed by a couple of disappointing results. So we've got to stay strong in our beliefs of what we feel we're capable of doing. I feel the squad that we've got, and if we can add still 1 or 2 more, I think I'm confident we've got a squad that can meet the demand. But the time to judge us is at the end of the season, and not to be kind of shouting my mouth off at the start of the season when we've not really kicked the ball in earnest yet. But in answer to your question, we have the same hopes as the Hearts fans have in the dressing room.
What do you think that the main challenges are going to be this season? You're obviously, you look at what's going on here and there's an investment. You mentioned Aberdeen being buoyant after their end of the season, the same for Hibs. Rangers have got new investment as well. Celtic are doing, building upon the successes that they've had. It seems that this season there's going to be a lot kind of battling for a lot kind of different places. Is that how you kind of view it as well? Yeah,
I think we can't really get caught up too much in what other teams are doing in terms of what they're spending and investment and who they're bringing in. I think it's natural when clubs make a signing, you Google the life of the players and find out a bit more about them. That's just the nature of the beast. But I think for us, it's important that we just happy with our work. We've just really got to really focus and concentrate on ourselves, look for those improvements within the building, look for those improvements as we go through the season. I'm working for a club who's clearly ambitious and have plans, and the players, myself, the staff, we're all keen to be part of that. We all want to try and bring success. So we can only really focus and try to do our job well, whether that's in recruitment, whether it's how we train, how we prepare, or how we invest. As a club, we are just trying to concentrate on doing our job well, and if we can do our job well, see where it takes us. We're in a league where we expect a lot of competition. Every game, every Saturday is a tough proposition. Every Saturday is a different challenge, but we've got to try and have the answers to meet those challenges in the dressing room.
How tough an opening game is this to face Aberdeen?
I think it's tough any time you play a team like Aberdeen. Obviously, been on the reverse side in this fixture for so long, and I think that there's a healthy regard for both clubs. I think there's similar clubs in terms of, good fan base, huge expectation. But I think in terms of a tough game, it's our job to try and make it as tough for them, and it's their job to make it as tough for us. And I think there's a lot of good players on the pitch, to be honest. I think both clubs have got a lot of good players at their disposal. So a lot can be made tactically about games and whatever, but normally it's players who make the difference in a game, and I think both teams have match winners and players that can make a difference. So from that sense, we just want to try and be as prepared as we can. I think we have been in the last few weeks, and make sure we turn up on the day and give ourselves the best chance. But I think when the league fixtures came out, I think both clubs would probably rub in their hands at it. It's a brilliant way to start the season. But we just want to get that first win, and there's easier 3 points, I think, to get that. There's also tougher 3 points to get, so we just take it as it comes.
Historically, home and advantage has meant a lot in this fixture as well.
Yeah.
The last Aberdeen manager to beat Hearts at Tynecastle with Derek McInnes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
is that something that just having the home fixture is something that's positive?
I think that's what you look for. The home fixture definitely helps for that first game, and I think the fact that we have gave a lot of encouragement to the fans have obviously bought into what's happening over the last few weeks. The fact it's going to be sold out, I think we have to try and utilise that on the side. We've got to try and be something here at Hearts this season that other teams don't want us to be. You know, we don't want opposition managers' mantra and speeches being about the Hearts, let the Hearts fans turn on them if they don't get an early goal. We want to make sure this is something that we are proper collective, real connection for the team on the pitch and the support in the stand that we have got. The fans have got to feed off of what they're saying, and whether it's brilliant or whether it's not, it's always committed and it's always setting out to win the game. We need the supporters, and I know it's not me being romantic, it's not me just manager speak. We have to try and tap into every advantage we've got, and this is a huge advantage if we can get this place going properly on a Saturday, well, Monday night now, but and it's important that the players enjoy playing at home. It's important that the players don't get hung up on playing at home and feel the pressure at playing at home. They've got to try and be themselves, and I think with the support behind them, the supporters being really kind of bought into what we're trying to do will certainly help our cause and make any opposition, not just Monday night, but any opposition coming here, their job a wee bit tougher, making sure that if they're going to leave Tynecastle with anything, they're really going to have to earn it.
Column's obviously been chatting this week about the changes and about new season and wanting to be more transparent and obviously get more decisions right than maybe they did last year. Is that something you're welcoming? Have you chatted with them? Have they, the players?
Yeah. So we had a referees meeting. Willie came here last week and introduced a few of the different law changes and a few of some feedback stuff from last season to the staff and the players. I thought it was a healthy conversation. It wasn't always agreeable, I think Willie encourages that sort of dialogue as well, and he was keen to find out our opinions on certain instances, not just from a Hearts perspective, but he went through the various little law changes and things that referees are looking for, things that are maybe moved away from, so it was always good to have that. I think referees, there's always new directives from UEFA at the start of the season, and sometimes, at the early part of the season, I always find there's referees that can sometimes get a bit too many cards, certainly a lot of red cards at the first few weeks of the season, and they're obviously keen and under a bit of pressure to apply the new laws, so we've got to be mindful of that and take that on board, and we just hope that we have a lot more games this season where we're not talking about referees. Everybody's got a tough job to do, and hopefully we're talking more about the football than we are about VAR. I felt as though every other week I was getting questioned at press about VAR and some poor decisions, and hopefully we get to the stage where that we're just talking about the game and hopefully a winning Hearts performance most weeks.
You looked at that feel-good factor that's building, Derek. There's obviously a hell of a lot of excitement building among supporters over the last couple of months since you came in. Tony Bloom, Jamestown, Lawrence re-signing and pre-season results. I mean, is that something you embrace, the sort of growing expectations?
Yeah, I think it's you've got to try and tap into anything. You work hard as a club to get to where we are at the minute. We've I think the off-field stuff is clearly exciting for the supporters and exciting for us to be part of. I think that's because we all want to work for clubs with ambition. Some clubs want to strive to get there but don't have the means and the wherewithal. But I think with the expertise, we've got a lot of experience in the Hearts board with Mrs Bodge and various board members who've been here a long time, but we've also got the new investment from Tony Bloom and Jamestown. It's important to try and tap into that. So, but ultimately, all that, it's all about players. It's all about ultimately Saturday and try to build a winning team. And like I say, I was encouraged by getting involved with Hearts for all those reasons I just said, but even more since I've come into the building and working with the players, how hungry and how a great set of lads that they are. And players are players. Normally you find that they want to be part of a winning team, they want to be part of something successful, and I do feel that we've got that in the dressing room, because you know Hearts can offer all of us so much. The rewards are clearly there for us if we can do our jobs well enough, and we feel so. I feel anyway, I'm getting so much support from the players, from the board, and my staff to try and to get the job done, and hopefully that connection with the supporters, we can keep that for as long as we possibly can this season.
You spoke about Aberdeen. I know obviously you played against them when you were in charge of Kilmarnock, but is there any extra spice, any extra drive when you go up against them?
No any extra drive, no. I want to win every game, but it's obviously that first season back when you play Aberdeen after being having that association, it's natural that there's a bit more on the game for myself personally, but once the game starts, but I think that gets diluted as you play each other. I've played against Aberdeen now numerous times since I've left, and as I said, a lot of good times there and a lot of good people still there, you know, and they've got their work to do, I've got my work to do, my job's with Hearts, and we've got a tough game on Monday. There are a lot of good players, they're a club who have clearly shown ambition themselves, so we just need to make sure we try and find a way to come out on top. That is.